Hello, everybody. I'm Gustavo Tolosa, your coach for these next 5 days doing our wonderful soup extravaganza program. It's something new. Okay, I am constantly thinking of new programs, new things to do, and I thought, hey, I love soup. I know many people love soups. And why not do just 5 days of all kinds of soups? Okay, so that's what I'm doing. Soup for breakfast, soup for lunch, soup for dinner. If you want a snack, have some soup, okay, or maybe fruit. Yeah. So let me just say this. There was a an email that went out from Zoom. Those emails often go to the spam box, go to the promotions box, go to some other box other than your inbox. So if you're watching this in my YouTube channel and you didn't get that email, look in those folders because it's probably there. Okay. If it's not there, send me an email and I will see if I can send you the link. Okay. And right now, I am typing my email address, which is info@plantemus.com. That's Plantemus. Okay, then you should have received an email from me, uh, which I use a program that is called Kartra, or maybe from my Plantemus email that has or had the PDF with the plan for these 5 days and the recipes. That could have also gone to other places besides your inbox. So look around. If you didn't get that one, send me an email at that email that I just gave you. Someone was very kind here to put the link or to put the PDF, but unfortunately, that's not going to appear in the YouTube recording. So if you still need it while you're watching this replay, send me an email at info@plant, Plantemus, Plantemus, okay, and I'll send you the handout. All right, so that's because we're following a little plan. This is not as strict as my 7-day program, so you don't have to make all those soups. I just try to include as many as possible so that you can find soups that you like, or you could make all of them and keep saving them in your freezer. That's a great way to have food available at all times, to take it to work, to take it to a party, to take it to whatever, and always have something that is not going to get you, derailed. Okay, so again, I'll have time for questions in just a minute. Let me just make a few announcements. A lot of you know me here, but just in case that you don't, about 11 years ago, I started my journey, through a whole food, plant-based, starch-centered way of eating with Dr. McDougall. Then for many years, I worked closely with Dr. McDougall, was doing his webinars weekly, and I received the Starch Solution certification as a coach, and also another certification from the Food Save Me Institute. And I just do different programs to help people. Most of what I do, I try to make it free or very affordable, and it's there in my YouTube channel and my website. Okay, so why do a 5-day soup reset, reboot, detox? Well, because I want you to learn that when you eat food that has the water and the fiber intact in it, you will lose weight. You will be able to eat high volumes of food. So you don't have to weigh, you don't have to measure, you don't have to worry about being hungry. You can eat as much as you want because the food is whole, okay? It's WHOLE. It's whole. It's not ultra processed. So when we keep all the water and all the fiber intact, we're not putting it in a blender and cutting it up in 1,000 little pieces. When you keep all of that and the starch is there and the nutrients are there, and we do have nutrient receptors in our bodies, and the food is plant-based and it's low calorie density and it's low fat content, there is no other outcome but to lose weight. And I can tell you 99.999% sure that these 5 days you will lose weight if you follow this. Go ahead, and if you haven't weighed yourself right after this, okay? And then let's weigh the last day, okay? Everybody should lose at least, at least a pound, okay? We should. Okay, so you have the PDF with a plan for the 5 days. And if you're watching this later on as a replay on YouTube and you don't have the PDF, please send me and the email, and I'll send it to you. While you are there in my YouTube channel, please subscribe because it helps me to keep going. And also go to my website and click on subscribe so that you can be in my email list. Just make sure you agree to all the terms and conditions, because otherwise my emails are not going to get there. So this is meant to help you lose some extra pounds and perhaps get you out of that plateau. Maybe you are a little frustrated being stuck and not being able to continue to lose weight. Maybe you're stuck there, or maybe you're gaining some weight. So this is meant to help you lose some extra pounds, maybe get you out of that plateau and help you to focus on staying on the wagon, okay? Staying on track. It is possible to live a pain-free, pretty much pain-free life and a healthy life if we stay away from today's poisons. In the book that Dr. McDougall wrote, The Starch Solution, okay, he lists the 5 or 6 major poisons that people eat today, okay? Very specifically, but I'm going to tell you in general, that poison is ultra-processed foods, or rather than food, I should say substances, because I don't even know if they qualify as food. Ultra-processed foods. Ultra-processed means that most of the water and most of the fiber, if not all, is gone. And so the less water and the less fiber that a food has, the higher the caloric content is. Okay, a lot of these foods are not only high in calories, they're high in fat. Our bodies simply don't know what to do with ultra-processed foods like oil, like cheese, like white flour, alcohol, processed sugars, and processed carbohydrates, not the unprocessed and complex carbohydrates that we call starches, not those, okay? And other ultra-processed foods like candy and cookies and cakes and even some nut butters that are not helpful if you're trying to lose weight, things that don't have water, and that most of the fiber, if not all of it, has been taken out. Anything that doesn't have water and fiber is going to be the cause for inflammation, which is the door that opens for basically all diseases, and is going to help you gain weight. It's not going to help you to lose weight. It's going to help you to gain weight if there is no water and no fiber. So what happens? Our bodies are wonderful machines, that have a way to count calories. It's a perfect system that works perfectly when we eat the food that is our human food, our natural food that's been eaten for 200,000 years. Only in the last 200 years, we have come up with this ultra processed foods, and our bodies don't know what to do with it. And so our system for keeping track of the caloric content that we need on a daily basis is fooled, is hijacked by these what we call hyper palatable foods, okay, with no fiber and little or no water. So remember this, write it down, okay, put it in the refrigerator or in your bathroom mirror. Water plus fiber equals bulk, equals satiation, means that your stomach, your tummy is going to be happy. Okay, water and fiber causes our receptors in our stomach to send signals to the brain that we are okay, that we're full. There's nothing wrong with you if you want those high processed foods, and if you're gaining weight or having trouble, it's really nothing wrong with you. What's wrong is the environment we live in today. What's wrong is the ultra processed foods. So these 5 days, this is just a little preview, okay? I do a longer and a more intensive program, the 7-day program every other month. I also do one-on-one coaching, okay? So this can definitely get you back on track, and then you can go on by yourself. But if you need a little extra help, you have those things that I just mentioned. So what we should always do is concentrate on whole foods, foods that are mostly in their original state, okay? So, and that is what we're doing this week. I'm going to recommend that for these 5 days, you have a full glass of water first thing in the morning. Why? Because it is during the night when we're sleeping that our body is detoxifying. And to try to do your best to stop eating or drinking at 6 or 7 p.m. so that by the time you go to bed, you're done with digestion, and during the night, your body can concentrate on some of the processes that it needs to concentrate on, like detoxifying. And then the next morning, you're going to help get those toxins out by drinking a full glass of water. Okay, so sleep is a huge factor in optimal health and maintaining a healthy weight. And most studies show that we sleep better if we stop eating 3 to 4 hours before we go to bed. If you didn't see the interview that I did yesterday with Dr. Goldhammer from True North Health Center, it's already up on my YouTube channel. Please watch it. It is an amazing interview. It's not only about fasting, it is about what we're talking about. So if you have your handout, you can go ahead and look at it. As I said in the beginning, if for some reason you didn't get it, send me an email and I will send you the handout. Someone posted it here. If you want to go ahead and post it one more time, you can do that as well. So these 5 days, we're going to just for these 5 days, we're going to stay away from any oils if you use oils, because that's ultra processed foods with 4,000 calories per pound, the most calorie dense food on the planet. We're going to stay away from any type of processed sugar, salt, white flour, tofu, avocados, even though avocado is not ultra processed, but if you're trying to lose weight, just for these 5 days, let's not have any. If you're trying to gain weight, go ahead and add avocados or maybe some nuts and seeds and nut butters if you're trying to gain. And we're going to eat whole foods and foods that are low in fat content. Okay, so the handout has the recipes, and let's see. Today, the handout has day by day what I am recommending. Today, if you've never tried a savory breakfast, which I recommend that you try. It's always good to try new things. Several years ago, I thought it was kind of disgusting to have savory breakfast like veggies until I started trying, and then I loved it, and that's what I have most of the time. Every now and then I want something sweeter. So I gave you a choice. For those of you who want to have something sweet for breakfast, you have the sweet potato, butternut squash, apple, oat soup, which instead of using oats, you can use quinoa. Quinoa is incredibly healthy and amazing, and so you can use either one. But I also included another soup, the quinoa apple date berries soup with a lot of antioxidants. So you can have that, one of those two, and you can just have that every day for breakfast. Or if you want to try something savory for breakfast, you can try the quinoa beans kale soup. That is a powerful soup because beans are a great food to have in the morning because it takes our stomach, our digestive system longer to digest. So you have constant energy for a long period of time. Beans have a lot of fiber and they absorb a lot of water. And so it's a great food to have in the morning. So that's for today. That's what is listed for today. For lunch, you can have the sweet potato and greens soup. Why greens? Because we follow what Dr. Ethelstein recommends, which is adding greens throughout the day, because greens produce nitric oxide, which is a gas that our bodies make when we eat greens, that helps to reverse the damage of the endothelium, which is the thin lining in all of our arteries. We all have some kind of damage in our arteries because we've been eating or we ate in the past an animal-based diet. So with the inclusion of these greens, we can really help our body to heal. Or you can have the potato and kale soup. Either soup has greens, so it's going to be very helpful. Both soups have starch and it's in its whole form, so you're going to feel full, satisfied, and it's going to help you detoxify. And then for dinner, for today, I recommend what I call the weight loss soup. This soup has helped many in my 7-day program to accelerate weight loss, if that's what you want to do. This soup does not have any type of starch. That is why I put it in the evening so that you can have that and you can have as much as you want, because even if you ate 2 bowls or 3 bowls or 4 bowls of soup, you're probably eating 100 calories. So you are totally fine. It's mostly water and fiber with nutrients. And so that is a good way to go to bed. Okay, it's a good way to have something light and you're not going to be hungry and it's going to have a lot of water. Your body's going to be very grateful that you're giving it the chance to detoxify. Okay, and briefly, tomorrow, the breakfast, if you look at the handout, is the same for every day. You have 2 choices for sweet and one choice each day. Some days is different for something savory. Okay. And then just to get prepared, tomorrow for lunch, I am recommended that you try the chopping with Chopin soup. Chopin is a romantic composer that wrote music mostly for piano. And as you know, I'm a concert pianist. So one day I was practicing Chopin and I got up for a little break and I went to the kitchen and I made up this soup with what I had. Okay. So that's it. Michelle says, I was hoping for a corn soup. I had included one, then I took it out because I thought it's too much. Everybody's going to think I'm crazy to have so many soups. But if you want my potato corn soup, I'll just send it to you all with a replay. I'll send it, no problem. Okay. All right. So I believe that that is all that I was going to mention. So now I am here. I'm here for you. Go ahead if you want to type questions or unmute your microphone and ask.
Yes. Good morning, or sorry, good afternoon. I made your soup, the very first soup. It's delicious. I used oat groats, so if anybody likes oat groats, they worked really well in this soup. Question I had is, why do you say to add lemon juice and zest and apple cider vinegar to that water that we drink first thing?
Yes, this is let's see who is that. Okay, Jane. Jane, I usually recommend when we do our 7-day program that we run mini experiments, safe experiments in ourselves to keep learning about how our bodies work, because what works for me doesn't work for you or for that person. So it's trying to find out what works for each of us. So just recently, I started researching and I decided to run this experiment, which is drinking that glass of water with 2 tablespoons of lemon juice and 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar, because I have heard about this now for a long time from some doctors, and so I've heard about this as a way to flatten your stomach, to get your system going early in the morning, to detoxify even deeper. So I put it there. I think it's like an option that I don't remember now how I worded it in the handout. What I like for everybody to do is to have a glass of water in the morning for sure. Now, if you want to try this and do for 5 days or a week, this experiment of drinking this mixture, this mix, go ahead and try. There's nothing bad in it that is going to be harmful, but I just want to see if it makes any difference in my body, to see if it really helps reduce a little bit more what we call visceral fat, which is the main issue, the main problem for inflammation. It's like having a tumor that you're carrying around in your stomach when we have visceral fat. And I do have visceral fat. I mean, I'm not obese, I'm not overweight, but I would like to reduce it. So that's one reason I'm doing it, okay? I don't know if that helps. Yeah.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, please do. Go ahead.
I was just going to ask, why the apple cider vinegar?
Well, I don't know why, to tell you the truth. But I've heard, I read it, and I've heard doctors that I trust talk about this. And so I decided to try it, but I did not look into why. Everything is alkaline here. Even something like lemon that is as acidic is acidic to us, but is body actually is alkaline, and we want our body to be on the alkaline side rather than the acidic side. So I'm going to read and get more details. I don't know if this is something that I'm going to keep doing forever or for a long time. I'm just trying this for a week, okay? And so I decided to throw it out there if you wanted to try this with me, but it's definitely not anything that you have to do.
Gustavo, could I ask a question? Lonnie,
Yes.
I'm assuming it's 8 ounces of water.
At
the
least
cup
eight
of water?
at least. I sometimes put a little more so that it will dilute it a little more, because some people like the drink. Okay, I've heard people to enjoy it. I don't really enjoy it, but I'm doing it because I'm just doing this mini experiment on myself. So since I don't like it that much, I put a little more water. I probably put 10 to 12 ounces of water. Okay.
10 to 12. Okay.
Yeah,
Thanks.
a little more in my case.
I've actually tried that. I heard recently that Novak Djokovic was interviewed, and he actually drinks lemon water in the morning, but I haven't been putting as much as 2 tablespoons. That, to me, that's a lot of lemon juice.
Yeah, it is.
Anyway,
Yeah. What we must keep in mind here, so that we stay focused, is that what will keep us healthy and at a good weight, and hopefully without inflammation, is a whole food, plant-based way of eating. That's the number one. This soup extravaganza that I'm doing is just so that for 5 days only, I'm going to be eating more water and fiber and giving you ideas for soup in the future. But anything else that we try is just an addition. But what we should really focus is on the whole food, plant-based. So do I have a gazpacho soup? Yes, and I forgot to put the gazpacho soup in the handout. Those of you who signed up in the last 2 days or so, you got my updated handout that has the gazpacho soup in it. So if you want it, please send me an email. I'll send you the updated handout that has the gazpacho soup that my grandmother, who was from Spain, she used to make. And it is included in the book that I wrote that is called Live Your Healthiest Life. It is there as well. I'm just saying that in case you have the book, it is on page 4 or 5. That's where the soup is. With your 7-day reset, and especially the great weight loss soup, lost 5 pounds and cholesterol went from 245 to 176 in 32 days. No statins. That is so great, Mary. That's amazing. And it doesn't surprise me anymore because I've seen this happen hundreds of times. So I'm so happy that you got there. Okay. I really want to answer as many questions as possible. And if I don't have the answer, then I will get the answer. Okay. But so you're all okay?
This is Jane again.
Yes.
This was the first time that I ever did anything with the butternut squash.
Mm-hmm.
And it took all the strength I had to cut through that thing. And so I just wondered, I mean, I did peel it. I'm assuming that we are supposed to peel it. I just kind of tried to cut it into slices, and then I put it in my food chopper, which was, turned out great. But I just wondered if there's any kind of an easier way to tackle that big thing.
Well, one way is to go ahead, which I do sometimes, and I buy the already peeled and cubed butternut squash at the supermarket, some frozen, and I use that. Otherwise, I just cut it in slices, and yes, it is.
Okay.
You could cut it. I mean, I don't peel it. I just cut it in round slices, just see it as the exercise of the day. Okay, just poach it and cut it, but cut it like that, and just put it in a pressure cooker or in a pot, however you want to cook it, with the skin, and it's okay. And so,
Okay.
once it's done, it's so easy to peel it. So that could be a little easier, but
Okay.
yeah,
Thank you.
kind of good. Yeah.
I mean, it cooked perfectly in the soup. I mean, everything, the sweet potato and
Yes.
I mean, everything I put in there just cooked to perfection.
That's one thing that we really cannot eat with the peel. You have to peel it, and it's even harder to peel the kabocha squash, even though it's an amazing squash. But that one, you can actually take the whole thing, put it in a pot, and cook it. And once it's soft, the skin falls off.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Lonnie has.
So, I have a comment on that. I always
Yes.
had trouble cutting squashes. So I just use delicata squash, and so I'm sure I looked at the recipe and I thought it would fit right in there. So just
Yeah.
a couple or three delicata squashes would probably make enough squash, and that would be great in there. So I've been doing this a long time. I've been doing Dr. McDougall's program a long time, as some people in this room know. And I just it's so much easier just to use delicata. And if you want to keep the skin on, it's fine. It's edible. So it's extremely easy. And
thank you, Lonnie.
Yeah,
that's and
great.
just take and I actually, if you like the taste of roasted squash, you could roast the squash first and then throw it in if that appeals to you. And yeah, it's great. I actually love delicata because I eat it for snacks sometimes because it's it's really easy to cook, and but it would work very well in that soup.
Yeah. Okay.
Cool.
Okay.
Thank you.
And yes, you can use a potato. I remember using a potato peeler, and it worked pretty well. A lot of these soups, you can ask me later. Some of these soups have ingredients that are really important to have, and others you can swap them. Like you're saying, you can use delicata squash. You can use other types of squash. Doesn't have to be the butternut squash. Okay, anybody else? I saw somebody that had the hand up, but any other questions?
I do have a question.
Yes, Mark.
Yes, I'm going back to the oats because there's so many, and Lonnie was mentioning she uses oat groats. You would think it would require longer time cooking if you're doing groats versus something that's been processed like a steel cut. What are your thoughts on that?
Oh, yes. I am a fanatic of oat groats. Oat groats is the oat as it comes out of the plant. So it's zero processing. Is the one that has the most intact fiber, and it will absorb a lot of water. So if you really want to go unprocessed, use the oat groats. Besides, they can have this very creamy texture depending on how long you cook it. So it is wonderful. The next in line would be the steel cut. Basically, actually, you can do steel cut in your house. You put it in a blender, and then the steel blades are cutting. So that's steel cut oats. Still pretty much intact. The next one is the regular rolled oats, which are perfectly fine to use as well. What I would try not to use unless you're traveling or you don't have access is the quick oats, because that is more processed. But I love oat groats, so I'm all for it.
Would you modify your cooking time then if you're using groats versus?
Yes, the oat groats will take quite a lot longer. So, but it depends it depends if you want them on the crunchy side or soft or very soft and creamy. So you have to kind of, open that pot and see how you like them. But yeah.
And then I'm wondering, do you have a thought, like, do people ever soak the groats and then cook them? Do people do that?
I've only soaked oat groats, and for some reason, I don't, maybe I soaked them too long. I don't know. When I cooked them, it turned into like a paste. So I maybe I should soak them for like an hour and not overnight. Maybe that would cut
Okay.
the cutting the it would cut the cooking time a little more. Well, keep in touch. If during the day, like I said, I'm going to be traveling most of the day, and unfortunately, I hadn't planned on having this happen. But I will check email tonight. Okay, so if you have any questions or comments, you can email me and I'll answer. If you don't know my website, whenever you have time, take a look at it. I have some free videos there with cooking demos. It's called plantemas.com. That's plant and then the letter E and then MUS for music, because I like to combine music with plant-based eating. Okay, and so that's the website. And on that website, there's also the description of my 7-day program. And then there's a thing that says subscribe for you to subscribe to my email list. My YouTube channel, which is also under Plantemas, has a lot of recipes and cooking demos. I have a Facebook page that you can also follow, and it is called Dr. Starch. And you have to spell out the whole thing, Dr. Starch, if you want to like it. I also post things there, and I do YouTube and I do Facebook lives from there. And I also have an Instagram that is called Plantemas. So you can follow me and stay connected. Okay. And that's it then. I'll see you tomorrow. I'll see you tomorrow. All right. Bye-bye, everybody. I'll see you later.